All right, guys. Hi there. I'm Stacy. I am from Massachusetts, and I am here to show you my process of booking start to finish. This is just kind of a beginner's guide to show you how I do my bookings and some tips and tricks on how to keep yourself organized and getting ready for all those bookings that are coming your way. All right. So our learning objective. So we want to provide you, the new travel agent, with basic guidelines to use when making your travel bookings. Okay. So step number one, I always recommend to try to get organized. Use a calendar. I have an old school day planner that I use that I write down all of my clients' trips. I write down when final payments are due. I write down when I want to send out reminder emails. Using a calendar is going to be very helpful for you to stay organized and make sure that you're following through the way that you should be. So whether it's a paper calendar or an electronic version, you can use your Google Calendar, you can use your Apple Calendar, whatever works better for you in your lifestyle. But definitely write down all of those important dates so that you don't miss anything. Make sure that you're attending the supplier trainings because that's going to help you understand where and how to book travel, no matter what it is, whether it's land vacations, cruises, whatever it happens to be, attend those supplier trainings. There's great trainings in all of the suppliers we use. Vax has some trainings in there. All of our cruise lines have their specific trainings. You can find trainings on Canva even when you're doing some of your mock bookings. Attend those trainings. Familiarize yourself with that supplier portal because everybody is different. Everybody knows here that I am not a big fan of the Princess booking portal, but I can book Carnival all day long with my eyes closed. So familiarize yourself with each of those supplier portals. Make sure that you're logging in regularly. Because if you don't log in, they will kick you out. And when you need it, it's going to take time for you to get access again. So make sure that you're always logging in. Find yourself a dedicated travel agent workspace. Some part of your house or your apartment or wherever that's quiet, that you can work, that you can keep yourself focused on one thing. Make that your travel agent office. And know who to reach out to when you need help. Certainly reach out to your mentor, the person who signed you onto the business. You can reach out to your gold and platinum leaders. They should be there for you as well if you have any questions. Make sure that you're being present in the Discord chats. There's questions and answers in there. We give you all of the tools so that you know when all of the trainings are. There's recorded trainings in there. There's lots of information. But know who to reach out to. Make sure you're getting into your back office in the travel cafe often, because that's where you're going to find a lot of these things that can help answer some of those questions for you. The next step is you want to become relevant. So when it comes to the travel business, there are a lot of options out there for people looking for a travel agent. You want to become relevant in the media, in the social media world. You want people to know you, know who you are and what you have to offer. So you want to make sure that you're building relevance, that you're building trust, that you're providing good information. So you want to be building your social media audiences. You want to be able to market your business locally, put flyers out at the nail salon, post up flyers and business cards at your local grocery store. You can take it back old school and start putting flyers on people's windshields. Whatever it is to get the word out that you are a travel agent and this is what you have to offer. That's going to help build relevance for you. Okay. Make sure that you are sharing relevant content on social media. Some of our social media trainings tell you that you want to be posting a personal post in the morning, an interactive post in the afternoon, and a business related post in the evening. Make sure that you're doing that and staying consistent. Because the more activity you have on your socials, the more people are going to see you. It changes up all of those social media algorithms, and it helps you get up to the top of the class quicker when you have content that people are interacting with, and you are then being seen by more people. And that's always the goal. You want to be seen out there, right? You want to build trust with the people who are following you. So don't be posting just travel ads. Don't be posting just things that you have for sale. People get burnt out when they feel like all you're doing is trying to sell them something. You don't want to be selling them travel. You really want to be selling them yourself and the services that you offer. That's where you're going to find your high-end clients, and those are the people who are going to keep returning to you. It's not always about this great cruise deal that you have or this wonderful park hopper option that you can give them, because they can get those anywhere, but they can't get your service unless they book with you. So you want to make sure that you're building trust with those people so that they do come to you. Make sure that you're attending the trainings. We have so many trainings. We post our calendars every month in our Discord. Your specific teams are posting those calendars and the daily live calendars in your chats. Make sure that you're taking the time to attend those trainings. The Q&As, you can get so much valuable information just by coming to the Q&As. You might not have a question, but if you sit in the Q&A room and you sit and listen to other people who have questions, I promise you will learn something new. And that's only going to help you, right? And you want to make sure that you are always remaining professional. You have a business and you are trying to sell yourself, and the way that you present yourself is going to be a big part of that. They're not going to want to go to the person who's sitting in front of their computer, who's got dirty hair and long unkept fingernails and things like that, right? You want to remain professional. You want to show them that you are serious about your job, that you value them as a client. So remaining professional is always going to be the key. Even if you get someone who gets irritated, we don't always have perfect clients, right? But we always have to remain professional, because even if you have somebody right now who might not be happy with you, the way you interact with them and the way that you follow through with their wants, their likes, their dislikes, and if they come to a point where they're angry or upset about something, the way you handle those situations is how they're going to remember you. So if they don't book with you today, they may recommend you to somebody else and say, you know, Stacy and I just didn't click, but you might find her helpful. Here's her information, right? So always remain professional. The third step is to qualify your clients. This is very, very, very important. You do not want to invest a lot of your time into a client who's just there to kick the tires, as we say. You're going to come across people who are just going to say to you, hey, I want you to find me the cheapest option to go to Cancun. They have no idea what they want, when they want to go, what their budget is, any of that. They just want the cheapest. Those are probably not going to be the clients that are going to book with you. And they probably aren't going to come back to you later either. So if you qualify your clients ahead of time and understand what it is that they need, make your life so much easier that way. You can do this in several different ways. You can create a qualifying form. You can use Jotform, Google Docs, whatever you're comfortable with. You want to make sure that you're asking pertinent questions and get specific answers from those questions. There's a good cheat sheet that's located in the back office in our travel cafe. I believe there's two options. There's one for cruises and one for land vacations. Use those, tweak it to fit your personality, but get those questions up front and it will make a heck of a lot of difference for you. Another important part of building trust is to get the client on the phone. We live in a very digital world, right? We are messaging people, text message, Instagram messages, TikTok, all of that. And the way that we communicate with people is without actually speaking to them. But get the client on the phone. Let them understand who you are, what your personality is, how you can help them. By building a relationship with them, that's going to help build that trust, and that's going to make them want to do business with you. So make sure that you are actually talking to them on the phone. That will also help weed out these people who are saying, I want to book a vacation. This is what I want you to book. I need to be there tomorrow, and I have this much, and I want to do this, and da, 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 da. You're going to get people like that. Tell them, sure, that'd be great. Let me, why don't you give me your phone number and we can chat. If somebody is saying to you right off the bat, oh no, I don't want to talk to you on the phone, chances are that qualification question right there is going to put them at the bottom of the list, I promise. And always follow up with them if you need more information. If you do the qualifying form and they miss some spots, or they don't give as much detail as that you really need, make sure you follow up with them so that you can get that information that you have to have. All right, the next step is research. Research, research, research. This is your job. Your client has come to you so that they don't have to do the legwork and research. Do your research and find what is best for them based on your qualifying questions. This is a tough one because we always want to put ourselves into this equation. When you're working for a client, this has nothing to do with you, with your wants, your needs, your budget, right? If you qualify your client correctly, you're going to know exactly what it is that they want. So when you are doing your research, you know, if you're coming up with a vacation that's costing them $13,000, you're already going to know if that's going to be within their budget or not, right? You might be thinking, oh my gosh, I would never spend that much money. Let me see if I can get it cheaper. Not everybody is the same. Take yourself out of the equation. Make sure you do the research. Make sure that you are looking in different suppliers because everybody's going to offer something different. Even within VAX, VAX is one of our main providers that we use, especially for packages, right? So flights, hotel, rental cars, all of that can be packaged all together. We have different vendors within VAX that we can use. Make sure you're checking some of them because I did some research last night for the same vacation. The same exact price came up for me in FunJet and Apple Vacations, but in Travel Impressions, the total cost was, I think it was like $20 more, but my commission was $60 more. Do your research. You always want to make sure that you're doing what's best for your client, but also what's best for you. And one thing to note is there is no perfect supplier. I see this question come across our chats all the time. Who do I book for this? Who do I book for that? You need to do your research to find exactly what your client is looking for. Search all of the suppliers, decide what works best for them. All right. That's how you're going to learn the travel business, and that's how you're going to be able to provide your client with what they need. All right, so now step number 5, now that we have all of that information, now we want to make sure that we're organizing the data that we have. Once you've gathered the information, make sure you have it all in one place so that you can create your quote with ease. If you're handwriting in a notebook, that's me, keep all the information together. And if you're digitally storing it, make separate folders for each client. That way you know exactly where you need to go to if you have to answer any questions. All of your information will be in one spot, and it will make the booking and quoting process a whole lot easier. Step number 6 is actually creating the quote. So there's several ways that you can do this. I personally like to do a digital quote using Canva, but you can use Google Docs. You can use the quotes that are in our suppliers. You can do however looks best for you. There's also paid programs that you can do, like Travify and Traveljoy, that puts together very professional looking quotes and itineraries for people. I would recommend that if you're new to the travel business and new to Archer, save those for later on. Do the things now that don't cost a lot of money. And once you start gaining your clientele and that you've started booking travel and getting paid for travel, then you can incorporate some of these higher end programs. Whichever way you choose, make sure you give them the details of all of the components of the trip so that there's no surprises later, right? So one word of advice, especially if you're booking into Dominican Republic, you want to make sure that you're giving the client all the information they need. They have to complete a digital form before entering and leaving the country. Make sure they know that up front before you have everything booked for them, because that's going to be something that they have to do on their own. It's not something you can do for them. If you're including transfers, if you're including rental cars, make sure you're telling them. A lot of times when we book a rental car, the taxes and fees are not included in our original booking, and those are going to be due at the counter when they pick up the car. That if you don't tell them that, they're going to be angry with you because you didn't give them a true price, right? Make sure you're giving them all of the details of that vacation. All right, so you've given them a quote. The next step is to follow up. This is probably one of the most important parts of being a travel agent and landing the sale. You need to follow up and stay in touch with your client. If you haven't heard back from them, give them a call, send them an email, send them a text, whatever, whichever way you want to do it, but follow up with them. I like to send a quote. I give them 3 or 4 days to look it over. If I haven't heard back from them, I send them a little message and say, hey, just want to make sure that you looked everything over, see if you had any questions. If they still don't answer back, I give them another 3 days and follow up again. Hey there, it's me. Just wanted to follow up again. I don't want to leave you hanging here, because if there's anything I can answer for you, I'm happy to do so. And then if you still haven't heard from them, give them a phone call. Call them. Say, I want to talk to you about this. Let's try to get this finalized for you, right? Communication. You can never over communicate with somebody. So always follow up, always follow up. I heard somebody say before, today's no could be tomorrow's yes. If you don't follow up with them, you'd never get that yes, right? So step number 8 is the upsell. When you're doing your vacation quotes, always let them know that you can also recommend tours and excursions, travel protection, rental cars. Those are things that you can add on to their vacation, and you will get commission for that. You want to maximize your commission as well as helping your client. They might not think about that right now, right? No, they're just worried about the cost of the trip, and they're not thinking, well, gee, I'm going to Hawaii. I'd really like to attend a luau. Let them know that you can book that luau for them too. You're going to give them what they want, and you're going to get money in return. And that's the nature of the business. That's what we want to do. So step number 9 is to book it. So very, very, very important for anybody traveling outside of the domestic area, whether it's a cruise, whether it's a land vacation. You want to verify their passport expiration dates before you book the trip with the supplier. A passport is only valid if the expiration date is within 6 months, or I should say greater than 6 months from the date of travel. If their passport expires in 6 months or less from the date that they return, their passport is not considered valid and they will not be able to travel. And if they get to one point, they may not be able to return. And it is not easy to get those things fixed, especially when you're out of the country. Make sure you're verifying that information. Not all cruises require a passport. If it's a closed loop cruise, meaning that it starts and ends in the same port in the United States, usually you do not need a passport, but I tell everybody that they should have a passport. Anybody going outside of the country should have a passport. Just because you don't have to have it doesn't mean you shouldn't have it, right? Make sure you get a signed credit card authorization form from them. Follow the directions. All of this information is in the back office. It will they even give you an actual credit card authorization form that you can use. Make sure you get that signed. Make sure you get a photo of their ID. And you want to make sure that you get their full credit card numbers so that you can charge their credit card. You want to enter the bookings into supplier websites, right? And send a copy of the confirmation to yourself and your client so that everybody has it. All right. Step number 10 is to stay connected. Stay connected to your client before, during, and after their travel. Check in with them regularly. I always send a handwritten thank you note to every client who has ever booked anything with me, whether it's just a rental car or if it's an extreme vacation package. I always send a handwritten thank you note. I try to remember to thank them publicly on social media too, because that will help get the word out to their friends if they allow you to tag them on social media. Some people don't like that. But I try to at least send a thank you note out onto the socials as well, so people can see that they're either seeing that A, that I am actively booking travel, and B, that their friends are booking travel with me, so they might want to book with me too. And then I always tell everybody I do the mock booking trainings here for Travel Access Academy. I tell everybody the easiest mock booking for you to do is the vacation that you just booked, because you have all of the information already in front of you. Put that information out onto social media. Let people know that this is what you booked. This is how much it is. This is what I can get for you. And it might get people interested in booking with you as well. All right. That's my process for booking. Do we have any questions?
Don't be shy, you all. Now's the time. You have one-on-one with Stacy.
That's right.
Sorry, I thought that we had to type it and send it.
Okay.
My question is, when you talk to the person, I don't know how you do it. That's why I want to learn about that. And they give you all the information, they fill all the forms and everything. Do you send, how many quotes do you send to that one person?
So my plan is usually to send them 3 options.
Okay.
I send it on one quote. So I do my quote in Canva and I put all of the information on that quote for all 3 destinations. And that's how I do it. I can show you, I just sent one the other night.
That would be great.
Let's see. Give me 1 second. Here's my Canva. And this is the travel quote that I sent to someone last night, actually. So this is a quote for Aruba.
Okay.
My first page, I just give them a little thank you. The second page, I let them know about where it is that they're going. So this has some information I just grabbed off of ChatGPT about the destination and where people would visit and why they would want to visit there. And then I just copy and paste that onto the second page. The third page, I'm going to give them their flight information. And then I give them their hotel recommendations. So I give them option 1. I give them the information here. And again, all of this is copied and pasted directly from Vex. It's all in there. And I give them the price. And then option number 2. And option number 3.
Okay.
And then I have an additions page. So this is where I would put transfers from into the airport and hotel, travel protection. If they had a rental car, I would put the rental car information here. Any tours and excursions, I would put that on here as well. And then I give them a pricing summary so they can see all 3 options on one page. And it just makes it clearer for them. So they know the package total is $699,134. The deposit is due of $779, and then the remaining balance is due before $1219.
Okay.
And that's the information that I give them. So that's how I do it.
Okay. That's great.
All right. Any other questions? Everybody good? I'm going to end the recording now. So thank you for joining me. Make sure you stay in touch with everybody on your team, ask questions, stay connected, and happy travels.